Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahshua, Shem Rukakwadash, Shalom to the 144,000 rest of you looked out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'll entitle this various topics. Anyway, this is GMS, all precepts out of Charlotte, GMS Charlotte live camp as of today, right now. So I was checking this, and what I wanted to do, matter of fact, you know what? Let me go subscribe, because I got them to subscribe on my other page, so I was on my other computer. So I said, let me get that and put them in subscribe to them. And give me a second. Okay, I subscribed to him. Okay, I was looking for this video about the sister that was on TikTok laughing about UFOs coming down and African Americans coming out of them. This is the story I wanted to go into, because he mentions the same thing. Wow, this is Cinema Shogun. Wow, black men warns white people about November alien invasion. They're coming for reparations. So he's going to tell you the same thing that they're talking about. Well, they had an interview with an older guy. I forget his name. You saw my video. If you saw my video, you saw it. I played part of the video, the interview. And the guy said, I don't know if it was the 70s or whatever, they seen alien ships and black, Negro featured type aliens came out, and they were about 7 foot tall. So I'm going to a little bit of this. Let me come back over here. Okay, let me just play this and bring it back a little bit more. One more step. This is a gradual thing. Gradualism. Look that up. They're pushing the MOTB in a gradual manner. So
right, go ahead.
I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor.
Yep.
Sure, the righteous shall give.
And this is Hashayag, if I'm saying his name right. And I met him a couple of times. Cool, good brother. He's dedicated to this thing.
Thanks unto thy name, the upright shall dwell in thy presence.
There you go. So at the end of the day, the Lord is going to have a covering over his elect. All right? The scriptures talk about that. How the elect are going to be preserved in that evil day.
Yeah.
Right?
Malachi 3:6, which said the Lord changes not to the Jacob shall not be consumed.
Yeah, the sons of Jacob should not be consumed. Yep.
So like you said, the remnant will have a covering from his judgment, when the Lord opens up, all the heaven on earth.
Go. I want to add on to that whole Revelation 13 and 11, right? All right. Before we grab the scripture, I want to read this real quick. So this came out July 29, 2025. It says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman puts his eyeball scanning World ID to bankers, right? So it says, I want to just read through this.
Let me do this. I'm going to go to Sam Altman eye scan. I was going through this earlier. Let me see. Bring this back to Google. CEO Sam Altman and eye scanners. Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI. Give me a second. Let me do this. Let me do this. Because now they're pushing, in order for you to go on the web, you got to give all your information. They know where you live, got all your information. Now they ask for your smartphone number. Eye scan. Let me try eye scan. Eye scan. Oops. Scanner. Let's try iScanner. Yes, Sam Altman. Altman is the CEO of OpenAI. He is also co-founder of WorldCoin. Oh yeah, yep. That a couple of years ago, he's giving out free world coins. That's your crypto money, your digital money, which uses eye scanning technology to verify human identity. And this was some years ago. This was even before the C Ragamuffin. So anyway, so now you know what we're talking about here.
29, 2025. It says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman puts his eyeball scanning World ID to bankers, right? So it says, I want to just read through this before we grab the script. So it says, it says, shout out.
And I did a video. This had to be 2018 maybe. He was in New York City down by the old World Trade Center, or the New World Trade Center. I guess it's One World Trade Center is called, I think. So instead of two buildings, it's one building. And he was down there giving out free, virtual coins or digital coins, and he's going into the eye scanner. So, I'm hearing this again, so it brings back my memory to that time. About 2018, I would say.
Privacy regulators skeptical of the iris scanning ID scheme. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is taking a different route. He is now turning the financial sector to pitch World ID, a digital identity platform built on the premise that artificial intelligence has made it impossible to tell humans from machines. It's a solution aimed at solving a problem AI itself has created. So like I said earlier, all right, just based off the title the brother had, biometric identification will be the new normal in the society. All right, it's all forwarding to the mark of the beast, right?
Key point, all forwarding to the mark of the beast. We keep saying it, keep going through it, we keep telling you, we see the wolf is even closer and closer. We're telling people the wolf is out and they can't see it. Oh, there ain't no wolf. The wolf comes closer. They see it, but that's a German Shepherd, Alsatian as they call it in England. So we see the wolf approaching, which is the ultimately the MOTB. Now these other camps can't see it. So that's going to hit them like a ton of bricks when it, when it's actually manifested to the whole world. We're living in some serious time. We're not in time to go back and forth. Sakari and Captain Zazarek going back and forth with each other. He said, she said bullshit. Leave it alone. I said what I had to say concerning the situation with Al-Azhar. I said if it's true, he needs to get himself in order. If he did that, that's what I said. If you watch my videos, I said if he did that, if he actually did that, actually went through the act because he's denying that he did that, and that's it. I said what I got to say, and that's it. You don't got to go back and forth. And stop being all friendly with the world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. You with the no jumper and this and that. You have in the truth and have, being on a pedestal, so to speak.
So they're talking about Sam Altman pitching eyeball scans to the elites, right? So this is the world we headed to, a dystopian world, right? And we'll read a little bit more. It says he argued that the most authentication systems have already been rendered ineffective. AI has fully defeated most of the ways that people authenticate all of these fancy take a selfie, a wave, or do your voice or whatever Altman said. He added, I'm very nervous that we have a significant impending fraud crisis, and that's the excuse they're going to use to forward the chip. All right, we got to be able to fully verify that it's you, right?
I seen on news yesterday how they're knocking down on quote unquote logo forms. Because like you said, they're saying that all these scam calls are right? It's, a lot of it is bot,
Yeah.
you know, just like on the internet. So, like you said, it's no coincidence that during all this period, you're starting to see them push forward with the digital identification.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is showing you where we're headed, man. Esau is trying to find reasons to bring in the new world order.
A little bit more. It says Altman's proposed remedy, of course, is World ID, a global digital identity system. All right, let's read that again. Altman's proposed remedy, of course, is World ID, a global digital identity system. Another component of the beast that uses iris scans to verify individuals and stores this verification through blockchain infrastructure. See?
Hey, they showed you that in the movie, came out, I believe it was 2005, Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise. And there was a part where he took this Mr. Yakamoto's eye and he went into the Gap store, I believe. And it scanned the eye and it said, good afternoon, Mr. Yakamoto, or whatever his name was. And I remember that, you know. And back then I said, well, that's one step closer to the MOTB. That movie came out before we got on YouTube. It came out in 2005. That's when YouTube was launched in 2005. So we see the wolf coming and we telling the people they're not getting prepared.
It says the platform is marketed as a way to combat AI-enabled deception, particularly in financial systems that still rely on older
Buy and sell.
biometric methods. Last point. He said, a thing that terrifies me, he said, is apparently there are some financial institutions that will accept the voice print of authentication. This is a crazy thing to still be doing, like AI has fully defeated that, right? So again, we're here, last part. And we'll grab the scripture here. It says the first reported by Biometric Update, his messaging presented AI as both unstoppable and dangerous, a force accelerating faster than most realize. He spoke enthusiastically about a future shaped by artificial intelligence, suggesting it could surpass the internet in terms of transformative power, referencing a line often associated with nuclear optimism. He predicted, quote, intelligence too cheap to meter, and acknowledged that while fully functional humanoid robots remain out of reach, development is moving steadily in that direction. Again, right, real quick, Daniel 12:4. All right? So that's the new norm. Okay? We're one false flag away from Esau wiping out this whole current infrastructure, man, and bringing in this digital infrastructure, man.
Boom, digital.
Right?
Through the chip.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4.
IUIC, ISBK, and the rest of y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake the fuck up before it's too late. Because when it comes, you're going to scramble. And if you say go ahead and take it, don't listen to GMS, that means that proves that you sold out. That's the receipt.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, so even to the time of the end, we should run to and fro, and knowledge should be increased. And as we live in this quantum leap, this quantum age of technology, this all signifies the end of Esau's world, man. All right, that's how you know we're at the end times, man. All right, this is all, again, these are the components of the beast fully coming together, man. The fullness of its sufficiency, the scripture talk about. Right, you got it.
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. That Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So this is why you're starting to see, different crackdowns through the internet. You have Australia talking about how they're pretty much banning YouTube for children under 16.
Yeah.
You got over in the UK talking about how they're trying to crack down on, the porn shit, But these are all avenues that Esau is using to justify him, regulating the internet, man. So, and like you said, all this is just halfway legal MOTB.
Showing you again put emphasis on the point of how close we are at the end.
Right. They want to verify everything. This is why now it's getting to a point where they want identification, verification for everything.
Yeah.
YouTube, you know, all these different websites, because they want to know the face behind these different things that, you know, people are putting on social media accounts. So they want to know what you're watching, all right, what you're subscribing to, what you're looking up, so they can label you and categorize you where, you know, you're quote unquote terrorist, you're an anti-Islam.
They're all doing it in the name of safety. We got to know who you are. You might be this, you might be that, you might be a terrorist, you might have bullied somebody. You know, so we need who you are so we can come get you. It's all leading to the MOTB, the microchip. Teach my hands to find. Should do. Sanders showed out, and haters are mad. DC Live Camp. Okay.
You're not for what the smart has to do. They want to know all that.
Yeah. And through this very system is what makes it gives him the ability to be omnipotent. Right? Second Thessalonians, can I get that real quick? Second Thessalonians 2, where it talks about how he sitteth himself as God. Right? So these brothers are literally doing this in our faces, man. But we're the only ones that's actually breaking the vision down. All right, making this plain to the believers, man. Right?
Because for the public, they think this is just all random.
Exactly.
We're doing this, like you hear them say, we're doing this for the kids. We're trying to protect the kids. Well, if that was the case, why is porn pretty much all over the internet?
Right.
All right, why don't you regulate the film that's on YouTube? You talk about crackdown for the kids. Why are you still having rap music like that bullshit with Cardi B and making the whole rap?
Yeah.
You know, you ain't got image verification for that.
Right.
You know, so just show you.
Protect these kids and get abducted.
Right. You got commentary that pretty much knows where all these military leaders are at, but all these children, millions of children go missing every year. You can't find them.
But you got this top level technology. You don't know where the hell 500,000 plus kids gone missing at, man. Make it make sense.
Right. You got technology. I sent in the chat the name of it, but they can track. AI can track, like you shoot a gun.
Yeah, I saw that.
They can track where the gun shot came from.
Yes, sir. What verse? Started.
Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Right, and that's another point, man. You can't be deceived by this technology, man. Because he's coming with, hey, what are you talking about? The AI, these videos they doing? Hey, it's hard for people to tell, but what's really respect nowadays? Because of this advancement in technology. Go ahead.
Yeah, with the AI, they can take you, picture you, image of you, and they can have you speaking and sound just like you, the same mannerisms. And a lot of times you'll see things, a lot of these commercials are AI generated actors, which are not even, so that way they don't have to pay the actors. You know? So they can make you say, well, you said this and I got it on film, somebody filmed you, and I say that's not me, that's AI. I never said that. But people are stupid. The wool's being pulled over their eye. Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 25 and 7. Also, Isaiah 60 and 60. Yeah, 60. You know, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. 2 Corinthians, I believe it's 2 verse 11. I always get it mixed, 11 verse 2 or 2 verses 11 is 11 verses 2. Matter of fact, I want to go to that in the NOT real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So I'm going to go to the NLT real quick. So that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes, his technology.
accept their coming and going.
So, you know, Bishop Nate should see right through it. He should say, yep, that is the mark of the beast. It's technology. So you're saying GMS was right? Yes, GMS was right. That's why I believe these guys that teach contrary to what we teach concerning the MOTB, they sold out. So we'll know when it's time for them everybody get a chip, and they say no, hey, go ahead and take it. You sold out. That's the proof. We're that close.
Away first, that man of sin be revealed.
The man of sin. Who's the man of sin? The Edomite, man. Go ahead.
The son of perdition,
The son of perdition, the son of destruction. Go ahead.
who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, show himself that he is the Most High.
Right, and these devils are literally
Showing himself that he is the Most High. Ezekiel 28. I'm going to read that in NLT. Ezekiel, I'll go to the King James first. Then I'll go to the NLT. Ezekiel 28. He thinks he's God because he has this technology. He thinks he came up with the technology. Okay, it's saying, Son of Man, I am God. I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Let's read that in the NLT. Son of man, give the prince of Tyrus this message from the sovereign Lord Yahweh. In your great pride, you claim, I am a God. This represents Esau. We know that Tyre are not the Edomites. Like the king of Babylon, we know it's not the actual king of Babylon. It says, I sit on a divine throne in the heart of the sea. Oh, the heart of the sea. What does it say in Revelation 17 and 15? The seas are people, nation, tongues, kindreds, whatever. But you are only a man, Isaiah 14, 9 on down. Lucifer, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? And not a God, though you boast that you are a God. That's what Esau. Doctors, they have a God complex. Because you could have died and they could have opened your heart, opened your body up, take your heart out, did an operation and kill you. So they get what's called a God complex. Let me see if that's the correct way. Let me go to that. Doctors have a God complex. The term God complex, the context of the medicine refers to a belief among some doctors in their own infallibility and supreme authority. It manifests as arrogance, dismissiveness, and reluctance to acknowledging uncertainty, often leading to a paternalistic doctor knows best attitude. I'm God, right? This can negatively impact patient care for hindering communication, shared decisions making, and trust, and potentially leading to misdiagnosis or harm. Because sometimes you feel a certain way. No, I don't feel that, doctor. That's not, nope, that's it. I know. I'm God. Physicians have a God complex. So Esau, the leader Esau, they have a God, they're suffering from a God complex. They think they're God.
boasting out loud that they have the potential to be God. And anybody that steps in their way are going to get put to death. This is what they said. Right? What was what's that billionaire dude, the fat dude? What did he say? Kissinger. Henry Kissinger. He said, what did he say? He said it's time for the people to move out of the way because now we become superhuman gods now. right? Going back to this left-hand technology. Because what's the ideology of the elites? Through this technology, through transhumanism, they're gonna have
They think they're gods because they're coming up with this technology, this vast technology, but they don't realize the Most High gave them that technology through the Spirit, but they don't believe in the Most High. Yahweh Shem Yahushai getting ready to do something to these people very soon.
the ability to live forever. You know?
Transhumanism is the new religion.
There you go.
Science really started with the vid. And through the vid, they were able to put the narrative that science is now over the Most High.
Yep.
So with that, they're pretty much trying to say that they have the weight. They have mortality now. Man. Like you heard that dude, Peter Thiel say, right? He was pretty much pushing that. We now want to change the soul.
Yeah.
All right. Sexual transformation, making a man to a woman, and vice versa. That was the beginning. That's really going all the way back. You gotta understand when this devil does things, man. It's gradual. That's why I say his heart is deep.
Yeah.
So going all the way back to the civil rights movement. All right. Jake was fighting for their freedom, but the underlying thing under that was the Mohican.
Yeah.
And then when the Mohicans began to really rise up, then it's where you see the whole sex change thing, and then now we see transhumanism.
Yeah, it was stages.
It was gradually.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the end goal. It's merge man with machine, because Esau wants the blessing on the left hand.
Yeah, like the latter half of Daniel 7, speaking about that, where it talks about how the horn, that little horn that came up, which is America, it said where like the eyes of a man was born into everything being controlled by the Edomites.
Right.
And it says at the end, it says, in the mouth speaking great things, right? And basically going into his blasphemies, we talked about the science and technology, all right, how this whole philosophy, this idea of transhumanism is now the new religion. That's what's being pushed now. These elites talking about, look, we're trying to control souls now. You know, we can change genders. We can be what we want to be now.
We can change nature.
Yeah. So that's the time we in, man. Right? So that is there any more there? Yeah, if there's any more, if not, we'll go back to
We're down on like
yeah,
7.
we're done with 7.
2 Thessalonians 2
Matter of fact, before we do that,
and verse 5.
Okay, no. I don't.
2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 5, it says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things,
Yep.
and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
Right, so this man is being totally revealed in this time. There's no denying that, man. Okay? Hey, this is the biblical Edomite that's ruling the earth, man. He's been blessed with these swords. He's exercising that. Okay? He's pushing, the Most High being non-existent. He's pushing this so-called science, this transhumanism madness. Merging man with machine. All right? Uploading your soul into a cloud. Right? Chipping the whole planet so everybody can be monitored and tracked. This is the modern day branding system. Right? The revival of Rome.
That's exactly what it is, a modern day branding system, a digital branding system, because they're actually going to brand you with that chip. Now, when you go to the Bible Hub and you look up Revelation 13, I'm not going to go to it, 13, 16, goes into the Mark, Charagman, and so forth. When you go to, like I said, when you go to the Cambridge, it gives you a reference to Ptolemy. I forget which Ptolemy from the Ptolemaic dynasty, that he had the Israelites and everybody that was in his kingdom. And Antiochus Epiphanes was doing the same thing. But it mentions, matter of fact, I should go to that. You know why? Because I hadn't gone to that in the whole time, in a long time. So they actually branded. Let me do this. Give me a second here. Let me see if it comes up again. Maybe they took it out. Okay. Oh damn. Revelation 13 and 16. We keep saying it. We sound like a broken record, but it's here. Okay, let me see if it's still the same information. I'm positive I read it in Cambridge. Okay, I believe they still said it. Okay. To receive a mark, the word mark is not the same as in Galatians 6 and 17. And that word there is stigma. What is it? Stigmata. 666, Revelation 13 and 18. Stigmata. It's a stigma on somebody. You can talk bad about a person behind their back, or you can actually stick something in them. But the image is as there that of the brand put upon slaves. Brand is what? You got cattle, you put your brand on the cattle in case it goes outside of your farm. Upon slaves to identify them. So this is going to be a digital a brand. Pagan devotees sometimes receive such a brand, making them as the property of their god. So when you take this, if you take this chip, you're paying homage to Esau, the beast. That's why I also said worship the beast. In the so-called third book of Maccabees, which, give me a second, Maccabees, which, stupid as it is, has perhaps historical foundation. We are told that Ptolemy Philopator, I believe that was Ptolemy Sada, and I believe Philopator was his son that took over, ordered the Jews of Alexandria to be branded with an ivy leaf. So they took some metal, they fashioned it to an ivy leaf, and they would brand you on the arm. That goes to the sororities and the fraternities. Jake, when they become part of a fraternity, they got to get a brand on the arm. It says the cognizance of, give me a second, of Philopator ordered the Jews of Alexandria to be branded with an ivy leaf. The cognizance of Dionysus, which is Bacchus. In the Apocrypha, he's known as Bacchus. One may compare also the sealing of the servants of the Most High of the Most High, chapter 7, Revelation. You know what I'm gonna do? Philopator ordered. Let me do this. Philopator ordered the Jews of Alexandria to be branded with the ivy leaf. Let's see what comes up. Bear with me for a minute. That's why the Most High is not going to deliver you, because you gave your allegiance to the beast. Look, it already came up, 3rd Maccabees. Yes, historical accounts suggest that Ptolemy IV, Philopator, ordered the Jews of Alexandria to be branded with an ivy leaf. According to 3rd Maccabees, a historical book often considered part of the Apocrypha, Ptolemy IV, Philopator, ordered that Jews be registered. So they're going to do the same thing, but they're going to do it with the microchip. Subject to a poll tax. Baruch, you shall be subject unto payments. Reduced to a lower status and branded with the ivy leaf, which was the symbol of the Greek god Dionysus. Dionysus, which is Bacchus in the Apocrypha, in the Maccabees. He also reportedly decreed that, give me a second, decreed that Jews outside of Alexandria be brought to the city for similar treatment. This is what, hey, Trump is kicking Israelites out. They bringing Israelites in to give them that ivy leaf. Those who handed over Jews to the authorities were promised significant. Is not this guy doing that? Trump saying anybody that catches a Mexican or illegal, you're gonna get $1,000 for each one that you catch. That's why they bust people's houses, because they're looking for that money. However, those who converted to the Dionysus mystery cult, this time it's talking about anybody that worships the beast, were offered equal citizenship rights to Alexandria, which is in Egypt. That it says, those who converted to the Dionysian mystery cult were offered equal citizenship rights in Alexandria. So guess what? I believe that what Trump is going to do, now he's talking about, we're realizing, he's saying we got to bring these Mexicans back and these illegals back, because African Americans, they're not going to be out there 12 hours picking shit, and they're picking cherries or strawberries and shit. He said we got to get them back, and he said something to the effect that they were built for work. He said something, if somebody can find it, it was one of those videos, either was on CNN. He said these people are built to work long hours or something to that effect. The first thing that came to my mind was, yeah, because they Issachar. Omen Nomen. He is hired. They're built. Jake ain't built. Jake, man, you had trouble getting Jake to work 2 hours in the field. Are you kidding me? You try to put Jake out in the field, they're gonna say, fuck, tear this motherfucker down. So the Mexicans and them Latin tribes, mainly the Mexicans, they'll work 12 hours. Then they'll go home and get drunk, go to sleep. It said many Jews refused to obey the king's decree. Many Jews refused to obey the king's decree. Bring it up to date. When the mark comes, certain Israelite groups are going to say, no, we ain't with that. So we're going to see who sold out. This refusal is said to have angered the king, leading him to extend his anti-Israel measures throughout Egypt. So they were coming against the Israelites in Alexandria, Egypt. Remember, that was the biggest group of Israelites that came out of that. 3 times out of the year, they came to Jerusalem. They had pilgrimages to Jerusalem. The biggest group was the Alexandrian Jews. So some of them said, "No, I'm gonna take that leave because I don't want to die. I want to eat." This event is mentioned as an example of persecution against Israelites. You notice these Jays are not being persecuted. All throughout history, they've been persecuted. Now, all of a sudden, they're not persecuted. It says Jews under Ptolemy for Philopator, according to Oxford Research Encyclopedia. I should look at that. The ivy leaf in ancient Greece symbolized Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry, going out there partying, getting high and partying. They did it in the name of a god. Freak-offs, right? It was believed to offer protection against the effects of drinking. According to Instagram, however, in the context of the king's decree, the ivy leaf symbolized forced participation in the cult of Dionysus. This time, if you take the chip, you don't have to say I worship. All you got to do is take that chip. You're showing the world that you worship the beast system. A lot of y'all don't even know what the beast system is. So y'all gonna get caught out there. Let me open this up. We fitting to go deep. So here it is right here. If you want to read it. Let me see the written Egyptian historian, Roman, Ptolemy. Let me see something. A lot of information is out there. Let me do this. IV didn't come up. Anyway, I gotta come. I'm not gonna go into this. Okay, Ptolemy, it's the P is silent. Ptolemy, according to scholars, Ptolemy Philopator, 221 to 204 BCE, two failures to harm the Jews. And the first, he failed to enter the sanctuary, the temple in Jerusalem. And then the second, the Most High of Israel thwarted the king's 3 attempts to annihilate all Egyptian Jews, which are Jews of Alexandria, Egypt. So he wanted to do away with them with intoxicated elephants. The Jews instituted a holiday commemorating this rescue. So that was another high holy day, another holiday. They were always trying to take us out. While the book's historical credibility regarding these events is dubious, it should be seen as an important historical source of the life of Egyptian Jewry, meaning the Jews of Alexandria, and the challenges that it faced during the Hellenistic Roman period. The book has so we always been catching hell. Okay? So some of them took it. They got the leaf so they wouldn't die. They could eat, you know. So this is the last stand. The last stand is they're gonna chip everybody. Then they're gonna get mad if you don't accept the chip, which we ain't gonna accept the chip, and they're gonna really talk shit about us. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see what these other Israelite groups are gonna say.
Right? He's pushing all of that. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work.
The mystery of iniquity doeth already work. He's already at work, man. Trafficking of children. Right? The rituals.
Yeah, right there when Paul said that, he was talking about the Roman Empire he was in the Roman. We were suffering the persecution of the Roman Empire. So Paul was talking about the Roman Empire. But now it applies to this system today, which is the second leg of the Roman Empire.
The sacrifices.
Slow killing of humanity.
Come on, man. GMOs, Monsanto. Okay.
Yeah, get it straight. That when Apostle Paul said that, he was talking about the Roman Empire. The mystery of iniquity was the Roman Empire. The mystery of iniquity is back here again. So we can use that. You got to qualify it. He said he broke it down the right way. But you got to qualify. You got to say they were doing the same thing back then as they doing today. Being the devil.
He's already at work, man. Go ahead.
Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Right,
so he gonna be taken out of the way this time. When you go to Daniel 7 and 9 on down, about the 11th verse, when the beast was burnt, the people will tell you that the beast that was diverse from the rest, that's the Roman. The scholars will tell you that's the Roman Empire. But then it said that the Lord was going to come back during the Roman Empire. When did that happen? It didn't happen. So there had to be another part 2 of the Roman Empire, which is not called the Roman Empire. It's NATO, EU, America, and Canada.
Yeah, that was his purpose. He's the left hand of the Most High. He had to fulfill prophecy on the left hand before the Lord takes him out of the way. So look what he's done to the planet. Look what he's done to the people, man. Look what he's done to the earth. Certain things that he had to do needed to be fulfilled first in order for the Lord to take him out of the way.
The
Right?
Lord had every purpose for everything.
There you go.
So even through Esau, what you see him doing throughout the earth, there's a purpose for it, man. Like, and that's the rock we always talk about. point about you always bring it out where it said that you're doing good, you're doing what did you get that?
Yeah.
I think it's like 17 points rock. But that
Yeah.
he pushes things that you think is for the good of mankind, but it's always an underlying issue, which as we talked about, is really for his
There you go. There you go. Hey.
Anyway, these brothers are getting ready to go. I didn't even realize it's 3 o'clock. They should be here any minute. I'm surprised they didn't call me yet. But anyway, I'm going to say shalom. I got to get ready. Shalom, on to the next.